Hi, it's Aneta here from Aneta Yoga Studio and Wellness. Today is Tuesday, 20th of February 2018, day number 51 of 2018. And just showing up with few words of wisdom from my mat. Yesterday I had a big shift in my energy, and the interesting thing where that shift came from was that I had to let go of my car. And I made that decision a couple of weeks ago because it's quite an old car. I used to use it a lot. I had it for about 8 years and I felt really attached to it. And so the amount of feelings that came up from making that decision, and actually from decision to actually taking action of letting go of that car, it's taking almost 2 weeks to do that. The amount of feelings and emotions that come up was really quite rich. So the initial resistance and what's underneath, even though I made the decision, what's the resistance underneath, and there was all of that kind of stuff, my attachment to the car, what it represented, the freedom, and being quite grown up, being able to move around, having something that represented that freedom so strongly for me. And the fear that came up about the fear of change that was underneath that resistance, the fear of what am I going to do and how am I going to travel, the kind of despair that came up about all is lost now and I can't really do it, and how am I going to cope, and disappointment in myself. Well, maybe if I looked after the car a bit better, maybe it would last much longer. All of those emotions that came up felt like I was just stuck for the last 2 weeks. It was getting worse and worse and worse, to the point that I just needed to take action with it. I knew I needed to let it go. And so I just had to do it. And the moment when I said, right, I'm doing it now, this moment, I went and cleared the car. I took it down where I needed to, and took a picture of it and signed the papers, and then walked straight to post the papers to DVLA. There was a real sense of relief. And this morning when I got up, I just felt that sense of ease. It kind of continued. It started yesterday when I posted the letter, and I kind of realized that right now it's done. It doesn't have to be at the back of my head. It doesn't have to be within my energy. I just let it go. And that sense of relief that comes with letting go of something, whether it is the car, whether it's the situation, whether it is the relationship, whether it's work, whether it is a habit, anything that is weighting so heavily. And it's the same with our practice. It's kind of knowing that maybe you need to let go of something within your practice, or how you're doing your practice, or how you approaching your practice, and really showing up completely fresh, letting it go and showing up and taking that action, not talking about it, not thinking about it, not fantasizing about it, but actually taking a step in real life, in your body, in doing it, has got such a profound shift in the energy. And I wonder whether you experience something like this. I mean, certainly my practice this morning, I had so much more energy as I got up this morning. I showed up on my mat and I could feel how differently my body felt. The joy of you know, that I let go yesterday, that slowly built up, the kind of sense of freedom that came, interestingly, because the car represented the freedom, but today I felt free again, which realizing that freedom does not come from an object or a person or anything else. It comes from within, from within, from that sense, that part of you that knows that it can trust that things will be okay, that you can manage, that thing that comes from confidence. And confidence is all about trust, trusting in oneself, trusting that everything will be okay. No matter how challenging or what's going to happen, we can have trust in ourselves, in our own inner wisdom. And so interesting. And when I wanted to talk about it, because when I showed up on my mat, I really realized how different my body was feeling, how differently the energy was flowing than it did for the last, you know, couple of weeks, when I felt that resistance with all the feelings underneath. And sometimes we don't make that connection, that everything is really interconnected, that with the feelings, when we have got those feelings, that they will impact our energy levels, that will impact the quality of our sleep, that will impact the aches and pains within the body, that will impact how we relate to others, because we relate to others how we are within ourselves. And so taking that time to notice what's underneath the surface, underneath that resistance, or underneath that anger, or underneath that tiredness that we're feeling, can really help us to make the right choices for ourselves. And this is what I'm experiencing, certainly, in my own practice and in my own life. And so I wish you a really wonderful day. Day number 51, I did feel like I celebrated yesterday. It was really good. 50 days. Today is day number 51. Remembering that every morning is a new beginning. Every morning you can choose differently. Every morning you can choose to do your practice. It's those little decisions, those little choices on a daily basis that create the life that we have. And so I wish you a really wonderful day. Namaste. Let me know how you're doing with your practice. Take care.